Like the wise man himself, George Costanza, might say, every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. That is the feeling that South Carolina fans and a lot of people that have followed this team are going through right now. The Gamecocks, in a stunner today, picked up a 10-0 run rule win over number 4 Kentucky to clinch a series victory. And boy, was this an interesting game. After a 15-13 loss last night, South Carolina responded in the best way possible. Right out of the gate, got a great start from Dylan Eskew today. We'll hit on him first. Pitched 6 1/3 beautiful innings, gave up 5 hits of no runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Gave you just about everything you could have asked for and more. And that's the way Mark Kingston was describing his outing after the game. Just pitched an absolute gem, and it comes off the heels of what he did last week. And I think the big thing today was that his defense played a lot sharper. There was 1 error on the scoreboard today, but outside of that, he got a few big double plays, got some jams, got a ton of big outs, and it really piggybacked off of what the offense was able to do. You get a few runs in the 3rd inning, and let's talk about those runs real quick. Ethan Petrie hits what we thought was a 3-run homer to give South Carolina the first runs of the game today in the 3rd inning, but instead, it ends up being a 2-run single that clears the bases. Now, I'll explain what happened here. As Petrie was rounding first base, it looked like Austin Brindling, who was at first base, thought that the ball might not leave the yard. And honestly, I didn't think it was going to either, but it did, and it looked like Brindling was kind of retreating back to first base, and Petrie wasn't even looking. He was like, let's go, this and that, and he was looking the other way, and by the time he realized that he passed Brindling by accident, it was too late, so the umpire called him out. It was the right call, and so it was a 2-run single, which is a shame. And at the moment, you're thinking, okay, is that how this game's gonna go down? Is this where things change? But fortunately, SQ continued to pitch very well, and the defense played well behind him. And then in the 6th inning, you get 6 runs on 5 hits, and by then you add 1 more run, and it's a 10-0 game, and the game is virtually over. You win in 7 innings. Connor McCurry comes in and gets the final 2 outs of the game. And yeah, I think this weekend went about just as well as you could have wanted from a South Carolina standpoint. You get that much needed top 5 series win in SEC play at your home ballpark. And now you really are, like I said, I've said it for a little bit now, you really have the chance to control your own fate these next few weeks, because you have 3 SEC weekends to go, and you definitely needed to win this series, I think, to not only just for confidence sake and all that, but to give a lot of hope to people. And I think this weekend is going to kind of change the tune of a lot of people who might have thought this team's dead and buried and this and that and all those things. But I think South Carolina's in a good spot right now. You go to Missouri next weekend, then you're back here for Georgia for senior weekend, and then you're on the road for 1 more series against Tennessee in Knoxville, and then the SEC tournament. And I think it's safe to say that this team is definitely going to make the NCAA tournament. There's no doubt about it. But I think right now, hosting a regional is the big thing that we're talking about. And I think this team is definitely in a good spot to do so. Still got some work to do. Obviously, things could change. But I think right now, things are just about as good as they can be. And getting the series win definitely helps out in the long run. So South Carolina is back in action Wednesday night to face East Tennessee State at 6:30 p.m. on the SEC Network Plus at Founders Park. For GamecockCentral.com, I'm Jack Veltri.